Welcome to Cinemonika. Let's talk about Suzume, which is Makoto Shinkai's newest film. I've been so excited to finally watch this because I'm a huge Makoto Shinkai fan. Your Name is one of my absolute favorite anime movies ever. The way in which I cried watching Your Name for the very first time in theaters, it wasn't a pretty sight. And truth be told, I have cried exactly like the very first time. Every time I have rewatched Your Name, and even every time I just listen to the soundtrack. Uncontrollable tears. It's bad. But all that means that Your Name is such a great movie that makes me feel a lot of things. It just means a lot to me. So I was very excited to watch Suzume. I was excited as well to watch Weathering with You when it came out. And let's be honest, Weathering with You wasn't as good as Your Name. So I was even more excited to see if Suzume would surpass Weathering with You or even maybe Your Name. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I'm gonna brag a little bit because this is one of the most awesome things I have gotten to do as a YouTuber, and it's that I was invited to the premiere of Suzume here in Los Angeles at the Academy Museum. I know, honestly, dream come true. I got dressed up, I walked the carpet, which was very nerve-wracking, I must say, but I did it. I was able to go to this like VIP reception with drinks and food, which was really fun. But the best part was not only watching, of course, the movie at the Academy Museum, which is a really cool location, but we also got a Q&A with Makoto Shinkai himself right after the movie, where he got to explain, all of his motivations on why he made the film. He got to answer a lot of audience questions, and he even recreated a scene with Suzume's voice actor.
Suzume-san, 君が鍵をかけろ.
You're telling me this now?
頼む、俺にはできないんだ.
Really an unforgettable night. Yeah, I just had to brag about it a little bit because I still can't believe that happened. So let's get into my review of Suzume. If you have not seen the movie, I suggest that you pause this video, go to the theaters, watch it, and then come back and watch this video because I am gonna talk about spoilers. I just want to go all out talking about it. Suzume is about this girl named Suzume who is 17 years old, and one day she's just walking to school and she meets this really mysterious guy who strangely looks a little bit like Hal from Howl's Moving Castle, which, I'm not complaining. After their encounter, she finds herself in these ruins, and there's this really mysterious door in the middle of the ruins. When she goes to open the door, she unleashes hell on Tokyo. Basically, the guy that she met is a closer. He's there to close these doors that seemingly go into another dimension where natural disasters like earthquakes can occur in Japan if these doors were to remain open. Later on, they see this really cute kitten. If there's one thing I've learned about anime, is that you can't really trust cats, except Luna from Sailor Moon, but this little guy could kill you. This little guy will take you to his cat kingdom. This little guy unleashes earthquakes, I guess. Cats are like weird magical creatures in anime. And it turns out that this cat actually turns our male protagonist into a little chair. This is why I have this little chair here next to me. This is my version of Sota. When I first watched the trailer of this movie and I saw that the male main character was turned into a chair, I was like, Makoto Shinkai has lost it. Like, what? Why is he a chair? After a while, we learned that the chair, of course, was this relic that Suzume's mom gave to her, or made her actually. So she really treasures this chair. And to be honest, I actually liked the chair after a while. I thought it was endearing, but I would have liked to see Sota's human form a little bit more. This movie is truly an adventure movie, a road trip movie. I feel like the last three Makoto Shinkai movies are, of course, very, very similar in style, in the themes. It's usually centered around this love story around these natural disasters that occur in Japan, and they somehow are connected to it emotionally, and so they are the ones that need to put a stop to it in order to save everybody. A lot of people say, oh, he's just making the same movie over and over, he's just trying to make another Your Name, but I feel like this is just his bread and butter. Before Your Name, his story is centered around romance as well, so I feel like that part of his movies hasn't changed. Obviously, with the huge success of Your Name, I feel like he's just found what he truly likes to do. And I didn't think this way until I watched him on the Q&A, because he really explained why he decided to make Suzume. The inspiration for this movie was the 2011 earthquake that happened in Japan, where there were a lot of casualties, a lot of destruction, and it was truly a horrific and memorable thing that happened in Japan. And for the Japanese population, there's still people suffering because of it. And so he wanted to make this film for the people of Japan that have suffered because of this natural disaster that occurred, while of course making it this like fantasy romance anime movie. Something that was very different in Suzume that I feel like wasn't really present in Your Name and Weathering with You is that we started right on the action. It wasn't even like 15 minutes into the film and everything had already started, the plot had already started, and we were thrown right into the action just like Suzume was. I found this very interesting, and although I do like a little bit of a slower start and then getting into the action, I actually found it very engaging. I feel like we had this sense of questioning, like what the hell is happening, which I imagine is exactly what Suzume was asking herself during all of this. So I think that really helped me be super hyper focused on what was going on. I was trying to understand and I couldn't. So I feel like the film really grabbed me because of that. I really liked Suzume and Sota as main characters, and I really liked the friendship that they formed, even though he was a little chair the whole time. I think Suzume was actually a very complex main character, which I really liked. She had a lot of trauma as a kid because of the earthquake that happened. She lost her mom. She now feels like she's a burden to her aunt who took care of her. And I think all of this makes her a very compelling character. Sota is also another compelling character, I think. I liked his backstory about trying to be a teacher and the fact that his family is, they all do this as well. I do feel like the romance by the end of it wasn't exactly as exciting. I don't think it made that much sense. I feel like they had more friend vibes than romantic vibes. Maybe because he was a chair. I feel like it's hard to fall in love with a chair. And also because I feel like they didn't really have that much time to get to know each other. Yes, they went through all of this, the entirety of the film together. They shared their traumas with each other and all of that. But I feel like, as opposed to Your Name, the main characters spent the entirety of the film, you know, getting to know each other, basically. I mean, of course, they were, spoilers, if you haven't seen Your Name, they were in each other's bodies for the majority of the movie. So they truly got to know each other on a really, really deep level. When they finally got to meet by the end of the film, in person, it was such a cathartic moment. It was very emotional. Cue the tears for me. And I truly believed their romance. I truly believe that they were like soulmates and everything made sense. For Suzume, I feel like I didn't have that same feeling. I wanted them to bond a little bit more as humans. Yeah, I think the romance wasn't as believable to me. I feel like they were more friends. As for the secondary characters, I really liked all of them, especially Sota's friend and Suzume's aunt. We see a lot of them during the third act of the film when they're in the car ride. I really enjoyed their interactions. I thought it was really funny, and actually I feel like it was a completely different tone than everything we had seen before. The entire film had been very action-packed, very quick, very, you know, let's get this done, let's close this door. But when they were on the car ride, everything slowed down a bit. It was like this moment of calm before the storm. I do think this went on for a little bit too long, just because when you're by the third act, I feel like that's when the action needs to be amped up and then, you know, resolved and all of that. I mean, traditionally, right, you don't really need to follow all of those rules. As a viewer, it did feel a little bit long. I do like all of the people that Suzume encountered along her trip. It was very true of a road trip movie. In road trip movies, the main character usually, you know, travels, of course, while meeting people on their travels that help their story move forward. And of course, this is exactly what happened to Suzume. And yeah, I really enjoyed all of these little side characters along the film. I also liked how the chair and the cat both became kind of viral online. Something I like about Makoto Shinkai movies is that they're so modern in technology. Like, obviously you see iPhones and social media and all of that, and I love the animation of it. So I really liked how, rightly so, people were posting about a moving chair that was running everywhere. Since we're here, let's talk about the animation. I mean, what can I say about Makoto Shinkai's animation? Beautiful. As always, with his movies, you are sure to get the most beautiful animation possible, full of cotton candy skies, delicious looking food, glistening water. I just love the look of all of his movies. I also have a theory that he keeps making movies about like natural disasters because he probably really likes animating the sky and it just looks really beautiful. For example, in Your Name, yeah, there was this asteroid that was gonna destroy a whole town in Japan, but it sure looked beautiful doing it, right? The man knows how to animate a natural disaster, you know? So yeah, obviously I was in awe of the animation. He does tend to stick to a certain character design, especially the female characters. I feel like Mitsuha from Your Name, Hina from Weathering With You, and Suzume, they all could be sisters, or they could be the same person with just different hairstyles. Oh, you know what was missing in this movie? Or perhaps I missed it, but I didn't see any Your Name or Weathering With You references. As you guys know, spoilers if you haven't seen Weathering With You, the characters from Your Name actually make an appearance in Weathering With You, which blew everyone's minds, including mine. But yeah, even though the female characters look very similar, I did appreciate that the male character in this movie had a different design. I did like how there were some Studio Ghibli references throughout the film. It was very cute and it made me smile. Let's talk about the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is a huge part of Makoto Shinkai's movies, especially because, as you guys probably know, he always collaborates with Radwimps, which is a rock band, a Japanese rock band, who, by the way, are touring in the US right now, and they just had a concert in LA like yesterday, and I missed it, and now I am in pain. I feel like Radwimps' music is so emotional and so powerful that it really adds a lot to any scene that they're featured in. The music in Suzume definitely did not disappoint. I mean, Radwimps, they just know what they're doing with their emotional and just cathartic music. There's a reason why I bawl like a baby every time I listen to the Your Name soundtrack. Of course, the music mixed with the emotional beats of the film, it just completely destroys me. Overall, I think Suzume was a really great movie full of adventure and funny moments and romance and everything you think a Makoto Shinkai movie will be. So if you guys are fans of him and his previous film, then you probably really enjoyed this movie as well. I truly didn't know what to expect, especially after watching the trailer for the first time, because I was like, he lost his mind turning the character into a chair for most of the movie. But honestly, it was pretty endearing and it was fun and it was unique. I think it really worked, and it's stuff like this that could only work in anime. Just something so ridiculous, but it's still very like deep and emotional. So I really enjoyed that. I kind of want a little chair like that now just to have it as a decoration. That's how attached I became to a chair. I feel like this is one of those movies that will really leave an impact on you after you watch it. I mean, I feel like it certainly did on me. Please let me know your thoughts on Suzume if you have seen it already. I mean, if you haven't, I don't know why you watched the entirety of this video, because you just got very spoiled. Please let me know your thoughts on this movie. And if you want to discuss any other Makoto Shinkai movies as well, you can leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Sota, please say bye. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.